Hi everyone, a warm welcome to my channel, or welcome back for those of you who are returning subscribers. I'm Maxine Fisher, an author, fiber artist, and queer parent of one, and I have a special project for you today. Yes, I am the one who posts all these episodes called Maxine Goes Rogue on trendy crochet patterns, and today we have a market prep pattern. It is market season in full tilt up here, and I have been working my tail off creating stuff for markets, but I want to stop and share with you one of my market bestsellers, and it's one that I have gone rogue on over and over again. I actually just got an order for a couple of these on Etsy, so we're going to batch make some of my market bestseller, and while I'm in the process, I want to walk you through what I do that really makes these a bestseller. So buckle up and here we go. So many of you are probably familiar with the Cheeky Turtle, which is also known as Trunk the Trendy Turtle, and it's available as a free pattern on Instagram or as a pattern in a PDF version on Etsy. I have modified this pattern on my own with my own kind of freehanding process to be something that has been selling for me really well at markets. People absolutely love it. And I have a lot of kids, a lot of adults who go after this modified Cheeky Turtle that I'm going to share with you. It is these fruit-themed Cheeky Turtles. And now I think my old school photography skills really don't do this guy justice. So after I finish this Etsy order, I am probably going to take some better pictures of the Cheeky Turtle and add them to my listing because they are just so cute. The fun interactive piece with the original Cheeky Turtle and with mine is that the shell opens up to reveal a butt. Yeah, the turtle has this gigantic butt. It's so adorable. And the pattern's really, really well written, and it's simple. It's one that I always kind of stumble on the head, but I have it mostly memorized. I just have kind of I have to go back to my pattern every once in a while to make sure I've got the right amount of stitches in the head. But we're going to do this pattern, and we're going to start with the body, and then I'm going to show you guys how to change it up so that you can make these adorable little fruit shells using the pattern that the designer has already created. Fair warning, when I do a tutorial, it is not like one of these really clean professional internet tutorials. It comes out something like one of my mother's recipes, which are given via oral tradition while stirring the soup and performing childcare and getting a bit of laundry done. So that's literally what I'm going to be doing. I have a pot of pasta gravy on the stove that needs to be stirred, so I've got to do that. And my son is coming home in a minute. But we're going to piece this together as I get these Cheeky Turtles done. So while we are watching Bluey tonight, I am going to sit down and try to make the 4 bodies that the person requested, and then I will come back on and show you guys how to do the fruit shells. So stay with me and stay tuned. And while we're in the process, please feel free to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more episodes of Maxine Goes Rogue or anything else that's going on. I've been doing more studio vlogging as my business has really picked up, and I am excited to share with you a lot of the tips and tricks that have worked for me as I've gone from being a parent on maternity leave, trying to figure out what to do with my hands besides taking care of a baby, to being a full-time business owner while juggling a full-time job. So stay tuned, like and subscribe, and let's get into it. Before I create the bodies, I did want to just jump on and show you the colors that I'm going to be working with. So I am using Parfait Chunky yarn. Gather these up. I'm going to be using Parfait Chunky in these 3 colors. I have lavender, lime green, and cotton candy. I'm sorry, lilac, not lavender, key lime, and cotton candy. I am missing one color, and I am probably going to need to jump on Premiere and buy some because the 4th one they want in mint green. But before I do that, I'm going to hop by Michael's and see if Big Twist Baby Bear has a good mint green. I do see that they have a light green on there. It kind of looks minty, but I want to check it out in person before I go ordering because I've been burned too many times. I will be using my favorite tulip hook. That's the 5mm hook, where the 5mm has worn off because I use it so much. This is my go-to hook for Parfait Chunky, and these little stitch markers. I don't know if you can see, yeah, you can see that. These are literally my favorite stitch markers because they just loop into your yarn and hold your place without having to be fastened and unfastened like the lock shaped ones. So let's get into it, and we're gonna start making some cheeky turtles. All right, my friends, baby is night-night, and Operation Bluey was a successful enterprise. Besides having some mommy-son bonding time, I finished 2 of these cheeky turtles. I still need to sew them up and glue the eyes on. I do hot glue the eyes on as opposed to setting safety eyes just for a little added security. So while I am crocheting this 3rd cheeky turtle, I want to just sit and kind of crochet and chat with you about the process that I go through when I say that I go rogue and freehand something crazy. Because like I said, this video is not going to be a tutorial, but if you did come here simply to view the making of the fruit shells, you can go ahead and skip ahead a little bit, but I am going to chat, and I feel that this is an important point that I'm going to make. And while I make this very important point, I'm going to tell you a little story. Back when I was in college, I did not know how to cook. I had been brought up in a household where my mom did all the cooking, and she would either give you some potatoes to peel or actively shoo you out of her kitchen while she was cooking, just so that she could focus. As a parent now, I do understand the just needing to be able to focus on your cooking, but the result was that I went away to college in my adulthood having no clue how to prepare my own food. I unfortunately did not even know at that time that there were directions on the back of pasta packages on how to make pasta. So it was definitely a learning curve for me. That being said, we had some favorite recipes at home that my mom would make. A few of them I can think of was like her taco casserole, borscht, which was literally her own invention that she just kind of pulled out of her head and enacted in the spirit of borscht. It was not genuine Russian or Ukrainian borscht, but it was a favorite soup that we had growing up. And one day I finally, after, reading lots of directions and trying to figure out a few things on my own, I broke down and called her and asked her how to make her infamous borscht. The conversation went something like this. Mama, can you tell me how to make your borscht? I want the recipe. Can you send it to me via email? Oh, well, I don't think I have it written down anywhere. It's just in my head. But if you are working on it, I can tell you exactly how to make it right now. Is there any way you could write it down? Well, I don't have a pen and paper right now, and how are you expecting me to send that to you anyway? I don't even know how to use a computer. All right, fine. I'll get a pen and paper. Just tell me. So first of all, what are the ingredients? Well, what do you have on hand? You can kind of put whatever you want. No, I literally want to know what ingredients you use to make borscht. Okay, well, you want the beets. Okay, thank you. You're gonna want some meat. You're gonna want cabbage. Wait, hold up. What kind of meat do you use? Well, beef, of course. Um, what cut of beef? Am I using sirloin steak? Is it ground beef? Is it like, I don't know, like some sort of steak cut? No. You want to use meat. You want to use beef. It's stew beef. It's the beef that you put in stew. Okay. All right. Stew beef. Got that. Is that a specific type of cow? um, Fast forward a little bit. Okay, how do you cook the beef? Well, you put it in your pan and you cook it. Am I dicing it, slicing it? Am I grinding it? And how am I cooking it? Am I boiling it? Am I going to like put some, no, you put some oil in the pan and you cook it. Okay, how do I cook the cabbage? Oh, well, you just put it on top of your beef and you cook it. Do you have a cook time? How many minutes or hours do I wait before I put the potatoes, the carrots? When the cabbage is almost cooked, that's when you put your potatoes in, then you put your carrots. So after lots of trial and error, I finally managed to make something resembling borscht. It was not my mother's borscht. It was not the internet's borscht. It was my borscht. But over the years, with a few trials and lots of errors, I eventually learned how to make a wonderful borscht. Because over the years, with a lot of trial and error, I taught myself how to cook. My mom was self-taught and she never actually read a recipe except for like baking brownies and stuff. But just as she had done, I was able to gain some basic cooking skills. I learned the importance of browning meat before you throw it in a soup because the Maillard reaction helps enhance the flavor. I learned the importance of adding acid to balance out the flavors in a dish. And by doing a lot of cooking vegetables, putting them in the pan and cooking them, and just watching them cook, I learned approximately how long each vegetable takes to cook in a soup and what order you should put them in. I also learned what they tend to look like when they're fully cooked by watching them and trying them and tasting them during the process. Um, so even though I never had a recipe for the infamous borscht, I did eventually learn how to make it very well and to make it mine. Um, the moral of the moral of the story that I'm trying to tell and how I had to learn on my own is that I think that's the process that many of us go through as artists. You know, we can watch a lot of YouTube tutorials that'll show us exactly how many stitches to put in a round. Those tutorials will never show you the basic skill of how to construct something in the shape that you want it, even if you don't have the directions. They won't, what they'll show you is how to make the shape that they want, but they won't show you how to make what you want and how to have your vision become a reality. And I realize I put too many rounds on the head of this turtle, so I'm gonna take a moment and frog. This is what happens when I crochet and talk, but I think this is still an important point, so I'm just gonna keep talking. So in my process, when I go rogue on a pattern, it's because I have done many patterns in the past before, and I already kind of have an idea of the basic skills needed to construct a plushie. That being said, if I look at something like Trunk the Turtle, and it's a turtle with a plain shell, the creative wheels in my head start turning already, and I'm like, okay, what if I made this look like a fruit? What would I need to do in terms of stitches, colors, embroidery to make this plain oval look like a fruit? So that's basically what I'm going to be showing you guys that's basically what I'm going to be showing you in the videos that's following when we get into the shells. And we're almost there because I'm almost done with this turtle head. I am going to go show you through basically how to pick out your colors, what kind of embroidery is going to be needed in order to make these little fruit shells. But I also want you to start thinking in your head about what you can do to make these yours. What kind of theme do you want? What do you want to see? And you can make that a reality all on your own without needing me. All right, I've got a couple more rounds on this turtle to go. So now that I've finished yapping, I will see you back at the end of this turtle, and we're gonna start with the strawberry shell. Okay, now I've got all three of my turtle bodies done, so I'm gonna put this to one side and I'm gonna work on the shells now. So come along with me for that process. Oop, hang on, I dropped one. All right, first of all, I am going to start with the strawberry turtle because that is the easy one. So I am going to get my Premier Parfait Chunky in bubblegum. Oh, you thought I was going to bring out a fancy looking skein like one of these, didn't you? That would look super pretty, but no, because this is a scrap busting project. So we're going to take our little baby skein here and we're going to make ourselves a strawberry shell. Now, looking at this, I'm not 100% sold on this color. So let me try hibiscus. Okay, I have my Parfait Chunky in bubblegum and bright pink. This actually looks a lot more pink in person than it does on camera. I'm not really sure why, but I am not 100% about this one. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the bright pink and I'm just going to take a look at it worked up. I haven't done one of these mini strawberry turtles in a hot second. So honestly, the last time I did those, I was using like the Dollar Tree chenille and their shades are a little bit different. So I'm going to try, I know that I need to do a watermelon. So I'm going to start with this yarn and just see how it comes out. If I feel like this is saying strawberry to me, then I'm going to finish the shell. But this is literally the process. It's, you know, kind of just grab some yarn and start crocheting and see where it takes you. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create the shell bottom using the Cheeky Turtle pattern. I do a double chain foundation for all my patterns when I need to crochet around a chain, because I just find it so much easier to crochet into. All right, I am going to turn this off for a second to get my stitch count off the pattern page, and I will be back when we've got a few rounds done on this pattern. All right, that round is done. The one last, I dropped my whole skein. I have a bad habit of crocheting off my yarn wall. And so I just have the skein kind of stuck into the yarn wall. There we go. It took me like 3 tries to cut through that yarn. The one technique I am going to show you is instead of following the rounds in a spiral in continuous rounds like the pattern indicates, I am fastening off at the end of each round, and then I'm going to grab my little needle for my pincushion. So I'm going to thread the needle onto the yarn tail, and then I'm just going to insert it under, I'm going to skip one stitch and insert it under the next stitch and back into the loop of, back into the top of the stitch I just created. I'll let you guys see that. So this is creating what looks like a continuous stitch. This is called an invisible fasten off, and you can, if you want to learn how to do an invisible fasten off, you can definitely find a separate YouTube tutorial that will show you how to do that nice and cleanly. But I'm gonna be like my mom and just keep it moving with this recipe. So instead of making your rounds as a continuous spiral, once you start color changing, do an invisible fasten off. That way you don't have a seam on your watermelon. It doesn't look all janky. All right, so for the last round, I'm gonna go pick up my yarn ball and I'm gonna get out my Kelly green, and we're gonna do that final round with the strap. A perfect watermelon rind green. I'm very happy with it. All right, and since I did an invisible fasten off, I'm just going to insert my hook into that same stitch that I ended on and pull up a loop and keep crocheting. So you can see this is where I ended. All right, so let's see, we're gonna go around here like this. And I'm just crocheting that watermelon rind all the way around, and we'll stop to do the straps. So I will probably just speed this up and let you guys watch this speed it up. There we go. And now we have a watermelon shell. It looks so cute. It's gonna look cuter when it's actually on the bum of the turtle. But this is our little watermelon shell. And I'm gonna just go in there, and since I worked over these tails, I will clip these ends so they don't stick out on the interior of the shell. I can just kind of cut these almost flush with the rest of the shell. And I'm going to go ahead and weave in my end over here, and then we will do the embroidery. Okay, coming back on, so I wove in my tail, and I did take a piece of Posh Pearl, and I just weaved it right through the foundation chain, which is another benefit of starting on a double chain. So I weaved it right through that first round, and I am ready to do watermelon seeds. So for this watermelon, I am not going to embroider seeds. I am literally just going to do a line that is 2 rounds long. So I was starting from the round that I inserted this in, and I count up 1, 2. It's incredibly hard to do this while on camera, but let's take a look. So that's my first seed. And then I'm going to skip a couple stitches and keep on going all the way around. So I think I want either 2 or 3 stitches between seeds. Let's see how this one comes out. Oh yeah, definitely 2 stitches apart. Nope, I'm wrong. I think that's too close together, so I'm gonna undo that. Quick. So 3 is the number of the counting, and the number of the counting shall be 3. There we go. All right. Now the corner stitches are going to start a little bit closer together because they spread out. You'll see what I mean in a second. There you go. See? I'm just going around like this. Doo-da, doo-da. See, a lot of this pattern is not about math. It's just about getting things to come out looking fairly even. And I think I have accomplished that with this watermelon. So I'm going to turn this back inside out, bring my tail down, and weave it into the bottom of the shell. For plushies, usually I don't weave my ends in. I just tie things off and let them hang out inside the plushie. But for this particular pattern, you do want to weave in your tail because that shell will come off and you don't want little ends sticking out underneath it. Now that it's woven in, I'm going to cut my tails almost flush with the inside of the plushie. And here we have our watermelon. Now let's try this. Oh, where'd my watermelon turtle go? Oh, I still need to sew this up. Hang on. All right, turtle booty is all done. These are just so cute. They always get a laugh at my market tables. Now for the moment of truth, let us see how this watermelon shell fits. Ta-da! This is definitely gonna need a crochet hook to get them on. So I'm gonna pop those bobble hands in. I love this pattern so much. And there he is. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. He's so cute. Really good color choice, folks. All right, so that is a watermelon turtle. And so this is, as you can see, this is the pattern for the turtle shell, but we added just some color changes and the embroidered seeds. So now I'm going to go ahead and do a strawberry turtle. And I think I'm going to use the same color if I can find decent yarn, and if not, I will go ahead and go with like bubblegum or hibiscus. So I will see you when I have another turtle shell made, and we will do the strawberry. All right, I sewed up the last 2 turtles and I went ahead and crocheted the next 2 shells. So here is the strawberry. And this is the unfinished strawberry, so it's just all pink. And this one is the kiwi. Look how cute. So I did literally just the first round I did in white, and then I changed color to the key lime and did all but the last round of the turtle in key lime. And then I took brown, did the last round, and then crocheted, like single crocheted around over it with this fluff yarn. The reason why I didn't give the fluff yarn its own round is because it's really thin, and I did want it to be fuzzy, but I didn't want it to, like, it doesn't actually have any volume. It doesn't take up a lot of space, so I didn't want the shell to come out too short. So that's the kiwi. Now I am going to do some more embroidery. So I'm going to take my Posh Pearl. Let me get my scissors. Now I am going to do the strawberry seeds just like we did the watermelon seeds. And just as a reminder, we did that two rounds long, 2 to 3 stitches apart seeds all the way around here. So I'm going to do that with the strawberry. The only difference is that I'm going to sit those seeds out a little bit farther so we have room for the sepals in the center. So since we don't have that double border around the strawberry. But this one, let's see, where's my needle? So let's take this kiwi shell off, shall we? Turn her inside out and weave in this tail on the posh pearl. And this one I'm going to be very careful to make sure that none of it shows through to the front since we're going black through white. So let's double check that. That looks pretty good. You can't see it through. All right. Now I'm just going to bring this out to the very edge of that white round, and we're going to go 1 stitch long. And I think I'm going to do these 1 stitch apart. Let's see how this comes out. I regret this. Okay, I do like how that's coming out. So yeah, I'm literally running a stitch over each single crochet in this first round of green. And as you can see, those embroidered stitches are kind of just falling right between the single crochet. So they're making the little black seeds that you see at the edge of at the center of the kiwi. I do not like the way that looks, so I'm going to undo it. No wonder I don't like the way it looks. It caught the tail of the black. All right, let's try this one again. Some of these are a little off. I'm not sure I love the way this fell. I think I'm going to undo this last couple stitches and do it again. The goal of this is not to be any font. The goal of this is not to, you know, have a particular formula, but it is to look good. So we're going to do whatever we need to do to look good, even if it's adjusting over a stitch or two. Let's try this again. Adjust my stitch direction for that stitch, and that looks a little bit better. There we go. That's a little less uneven. I pull the stitch out a little. There we go. Much better. Much better. And there's our kiwi seeds. Okay, that looks so cute. Okay, folks, for the final step, I am going to do the sepal on the strawberry. I already finished the kiwi. He looks so cute. So to do the sepal, we are going to start with a magic ring. And by the way, whenever I say start with a magic ring, what I am really doing is I am chaining 2 and crocheting into the second single crochet from hook. That way I do not have to go back and secure that magic ring tail, because you know those can work their way loose. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches in a magic ring, 5 single crochet in a magic ring. And then we're going to do 5 single crochet around for 2 rounds. So I will meet you back there. Okay, so you're going to end up with this cute little nub here that is 5 single crochet around. And You do not need to stuff that. It's going to stand on its own. The only thing I'm going to do is take my chopstick and poke the yarn tail down in there so it's out of my way. And poke it nice and deep. This is literally the official polyfill stick or tool or whatever it is that comes from the polyfill bags. It's a chopstick. If you go to an Asian restaurant, you will see this exact same bamboo stick with a little detail on the top. So yeah, that's a chopstick. All right, and from here, we're going to chain 1, 2, 3, and in the third chain of hook, you're going to do 2 stitches, a single crochet and a half double crochet. That's going to give your leaf a little bit of a twist to it. Then you're going to single crochet in the next stitch on your stem and repeat 1, 2, 3 chains. And in that third chain from hook, single crochet, half double crochet, single crochet in the next stitch on your stem, and just keep repeating that. You are going to have a total of 5 leaves. So here's my third one. Double crochet. These aren't really leaves, they are technically sepals. And we're going to slip stitch in the first single crochet and fasten off from here. We're going to leave a good sized tail for sewing. And fasten off, pull my yarn through real good. And so now you've got this little sepal with a nice long tail, and we are going to sew that bad boy onto the back of our strawberry. All right, here is the finished strawberry. There's my strawberry turtle. He looks so cute with the little sepal. These are gonna look even cuter with the eyes on, but I wanna show you guys because it's late at night and I am ready for bed. So here are my little cheeky turtles with their fruit shells. Look so cute. And even though I used somebody else's pattern for the cheeky turtles, the fruits were my own design. So you should use their pattern. You can purchase it on their Etsy if you want a PDF version, or pull it off their Instagram. They do have it listed for free. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and you got something out of it, learning how to go rogue yourself with your own designs. Comment down below and let me know if you have made any fruit turtles as a result of this video, and tell me what fruits you have made, or if you turned something else into a fruit theme or some other theme and went rogue on a pattern. I'd love to hear about it. So thank you for watching to the end of this video. If you like this video and want to see more future videos of me going rogue on trendy patterns, comment down below, hit like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. As always, have a fabulous day, everyone, and stay creative. Bye!